You're watching the Fantasy Football Show Saturday night start bench show, where we break down all of your start bench dilemmas, talk about any last minute waiver wire grabs you may or may not need to make walking into week number 4. Are you 0-3? Are you 3-0? Are you somewhere in between? I'm here, your man Smitty, to help you break down everything you need to get that dub on Sunday and Monday. Preferably get it all handled and taken care of by Sunday night so you can go to sleep all nice and tight nestled in your bed knowing you got the dub walking into the Monday night game. Zach is in the house. JP, where you been? Mr. Punch, another Zach, the other Zach F is in the house. Jordan Roberts, the usual suspects are here. Silver Rapture. We got Avia in here. Ryan, let's break down everything week 4. Let's hit the intro. Let's go.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty. Take a lap. What is going on, everybody? My name is Smitty. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show Saturday night start bench edition of the show. We've got Chosen in here, Kevin, Mr. Punch, like I mentioned, Silver Rapture. Let's go. You need to decide on a streaming defense. Well, drop your voicemails on my Instagram over at the Fantasy Football Show on IG, Silver Rapture, and everybody else that wants to have your question answered on the show. Super chats always take precedent. We put super chats front stage, front and center, and attack the super chats, but then we hit the voicemail. So get on over to Instagram and drop thy voicemail. E111 in the house. Brian, Cincinnati D already screwed you. You said rock out. What's going on, pal? Get those likes going, says rock out. Hit that thumb up. Hit that thumb up on the way in. Frank Gaskin, Javonte, Eli Mitchell, and Pollard. Look, we don't know what's going on with that. Let's pull up the news right now, see if anything's breaking while we're talking. But Eli Mitchell, we don't know what's going on with Eli Mitchell. Let's be honest. No one's gonna know. He's questionable. No updates. No updates. Shoulder questionable. Mitchell's expected to lead the backfield, but that's according to NBC Sports Edge, but he's questionable. That means he's 50-50 to probably play. If Mitchell sits, Sermon will probably be the guy, but will he? We don't know. Probably is the key word. Kind of staying away from that backfield altogether, to be quite honest with you. Javonte Williams, Eli Mitchell, PPR. Look, Melvin Gordon feels a little more iffy than Eli Mitchell. So you're going to have a dilemma on your hands potentially, because maybe Eli Mitchell and Javonte are both playing, which is why you're probably asking, Joshua. And I'm going to lean Javonte Williams. You think I'm going to sit Javonte Williams if he gets the actual nod? Do you think I've waited this long, Joshua? Do you think I've waited this long to find out whether Javonte Williams is the man or not, and that the week he goes in, I'm going to put him on the bench? Absolutely not, Joshua. We're putting him in. We're doing it live. Put in Javonte Williams, pal, if he's a go. But we got to wait and see if he's a go, broski. We got to wait. Javonte Williams. Oh, no. Another question here. This one is from Zinski. Super chat. Thank you, Zinski. Would you trade Russell Wilson for Herbert? I have Mike Williams. I'd rather have Herbert. I drafted Herbert ahead of Russell Wilson, and so I'm going to trade the two. We're only 3 weeks into football, pal, and Herbert looks great. Herbert looks better than a lot of people anticipated, so nothing I've seen is going to make me vault Wilson up above Herbert. So you're going to make this trade, pal. You're going to run Herbert and Mike Williams out on the regular, but do consider selling high on Mr. Mike Williams because he can get you players that you won't be able to sniff in the coming weeks. Like, act now, pal. Act now. What's up, Ryan, with the super chat, pal? Smitty, half PPR thoughts on Curtis Samuel. Start over Mecole Hardman. Bro, those are... I know you could be in a deep league. I know injuries could have struck you pretty hardcore. Not saying I don't understand the dilemma, but these are not great options. Ryan, you've got to have a better option than this. We don't know what Curtis Samuel's going to do. He's been out for how long? Let me pull up Samuel and see what he's looking like. Curtis Samuel will be active. We know that. I mean, I go Samuel if I've got to pick between these two, but I'm wondering if you've got like a Bryan Edwards on waivers. I'm wondering if you've got a Beasley or a Emmanuel Sanders. I'm guessing probably not, given Mecole Hardman's your other option. But Curtis Samuel is such an injury risk. But put him out there. Against Mecole, sure. Run him out there, pal. I'm not opposed to that. What do you think of Lev Bell? I think Lev Bell is going to be a guy you can pick up right now in hopes that something happens, but he's not going to be a guy that's in the end going to be saving your team in your fantasy season. However, there's a small enough percentage, that's my gut, that I don't think he's going to be saving anybody's season. There's a small enough percentage chance that he could be some kind of surprise. I mean, people surprise us every year. If you're sitting here saying, you know, looking at the wide receivers, let me pull up the wide receivers right now. For the 2021 season through 3 weeks, I'm going to grab a random league. I don't even care what league it is. They're all relatively similar scoring. So let me pull up this league here. I'll grab this league right here. Pull it up. Leaders, wide receivers, season stats. We're not just going to go week 3 or anything like that. Season stats. We're going to go Cooper Kupp, number 1. Let me take a screenshot of this bad boy. Let me put this on screen here. And we'll break it down. These are the top, I give you the top wide receivers in 2021 through 4 weeks. It's quite shocking. It's crazy. It's madness. Here you go. Cooper Kupp, Mike Williams, Jamar Chase. Is this right? Season stats. It's crazy looking. That can't be right. Hold on. It's even shocking me. I'm trying to shock you, and it's shocking me while I'm showing you. Stats 2021 full season. Wow. Tyler Lockett, Adam Thielen, Brandon Cooks, Devontae Adams. This is your top 7 wide receivers through 3 weeks of football. If I told you this was going to happen, you would have said, that sounds like a simulated Tecmo Bowl like run through. Like, you simulated Tecmo Bowl. It didn't look real good. That's not going to happen, Smitty. Rerun the simulation. This is crazy. Okay, but we're only 3 weeks in. My point being, could Lev Bell do something? Yeah, I'm shocked by this. There's no way I thought that would be what we'd be looking at coming out of week 3. Tyler Lockett, Jamar Chase, Mike Williams. I mean, a lot of people did like Cooper Kupp, but no one's thinking Cooper Kupp's the number 1 wide receiver through 3 weeks. No, I'm sorry. Show me the person that wrote that. Show me the person that had Brandon Cooks number 6. Show me the person that had even 2 of these crazy predictions. Like, I love Jamar Chase. I had buy Jamar Chase right now heading into week 1 all over my IG. All over. Take advantage of the people freaking out about the drop passes. I can't run a route. My name is Jamar Chase. People were so upset about that. They want to get rid of him left and right. I'm panicking about Jamar Chase. I said, go buy this man. And even I'm completely shocked that he's looking that high. Is this correct? Can anybody confirm that in their league this is what it's looking like? I mean, that's a pretty normal scoring league, I believe. Let me pull up another league. That's crazy. I came in here to shock you, and I shocked myself. I'm completely shocked. I thought I'd see 2 or 3 of those names, but I didn't expect to see all of them. Oh, my God. Okay, week. Season stats, 2021. Wide receivers. Leaders, wide receivers. Stupid thing. Season stats. Cooper Kupp, Mike Williams, Jamar Chase, Tyler Lockett, Thielen, Cooks, Adams. Same ranking, different league. That's crazy. That is crazy. My point is, nobody knows. Nobody knows what's really going to happen. Okay? We can only be as logical as we can. There's certainly a lot of... I thought I changed the energy setting over here. A lot of luck involved. Okay? But you can be prepared. You can sell high. My point to everybody here right now, if you take anything away from this live stream, this probably won't remain even remotely close to the way it looks right now. Not even close. I got the super chats. I'm coming to it right now. Trade Mike Williams at this level right now while you still can. As weird and as fun and as crazy it is to talk about how this is so strange through 3 weeks. I mean, this is the top 7 wide receivers in fantasy football through 3 weeks of action. Take advantage of Mike Williams. Sell him high. Take advantage of Jamar Chase if you can get rid of him that high. A lot of people won't. They'll like him, but they're not going to pay anywhere near top 5 wide receiver value out of a rookie. People will chalk that up to more of a... That's probably a lot of good scenarios that have come his way. I'm going to wait and see. Lockett, you can sell high. You can sell Lockett for a top 5-6 wide receiver right now. You can go get a Diggs tonight. You can go get a DK Metcalf tonight. You can go get Calvin Ridley tonight. And in some cases, get more. How do you get more? Smitty, how do you get more? I'm getting to the super chats in 1 second. Smitty, how do you get more? Well, I'll tell you how you get more. You don't necessarily trade Lockett straight up for a Ridley and more. You might be able to get Ridley straight up. This might happen. But how do you get more? How do I get a Ridley and a CEH? You give up a Damian Harris, or you give up someone here. Let's call this player. Let's go. Trying to think of a running back we could trade here. I mean, we could go J-Rob and probably get a running back here that's ridiculous. Like this would be the kind of thinking I would put together for a trade for Lockett. I put Lockett into someone else for Ridley and another player. I'd try and get 2 players I quietly like better than the 2 players I'm giving up. And you can do that while these values are vaulted up. They're vaulted up. James Robinson's not a top 5 running back. I don't believe James Robinson will remain in the top 5. I don't believe Mike Williams will remain in the top 5. He'll still be good and productive, but there's no way I'm banking on Mike Williams to remain inside the top 5. Same thing with Lockett. I think they can all dance around top 10, sure, but get rid of them while you can. Super chats are rolling in, Mr. Punch. I got Zach. I've got Mark F. I've got Crod. I believe Mr. Punch was up here. Ryan. Man, you guys are dropping them tonight. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. Ryan already dropped another one. Curtis Samuel. Zinski, thank you. Ryan Zinski. Appreciate the super chats you guys already dropped. Okay, let me put these all nice and tight in the corner, and then we're going to roll through one at a time. We'll get to voicemails in a minute. First super chat, I'm going to go with this one here, Mr. Punch. Jamar played this week already, though. Yeah, that's true. It's a good point. He didn't do that great, though, so honestly, I don't know that it did. He did okay. He did fine. What was his line? Jamar Chase had 6 for 77, so it did affect that a little bit, sure. But he still would have been inside that top, 8? trade the man. Trade him high. Don't sell him low. Crazy. I haven't read a lot of the comments yet. Sorry, I've been ranting and raving. Mark F. Smitty, non-PPR, 2 running backs, no flex, starting Henry, need help with my running back 2, Gibby or Chuba, leaning Gibby. Can we give Mark a raindrop vote in the chat? Gibby or Chuba in week 4, drop it, go. I'm going to say I lean Gibby. It's higher risk if you want safety. If you're looking at this matchup and you're like, man, I need to have safety. I already have a lead. Let's say he did bad on Thursday night. Whatever the case may be, and you need safety, Chuba's probably safer. Gibson's got that. He could fall off the face of the earth. If Gibson doesn't do anything in week 4, you remember what everybody said about Clyde coming out of week 3 or week 2? Remember? Clyde, garbage. Cut him. Hate him. Dead to me. I don't want Clyde on my team. Get rid of him. Clyde's garbage. Trash can emoji. If Gibson doesn't do anything, let's say he gets 25 yards rushing and 12 receiving, fantasy worlds will cast him away. People will want to drop him. People will want to trade him for garbage. And I won't blame him. I won't blame him. But this is a make or break week for Gibby in terms of people's value for him. I'm not, if he does badly in week 4, I'm swooping in to buy him really low. I'm talking about, like, I might buy him and put him on my bench and wait. That kind of low. But people will be wanting to get rid of this man for anything if he comes out of week 4 dropping a nothing burger. If he drops an upper decker in the top tank, you will want nothing to do with him. So he's high risk. Know that, Mark F. He is high risk, but I'm going to take Gibby, I think, in this matchup. But what do you guys think? Gibby, Chuba, they'll use him like CMC. Chuba, Gibby, Chuba. Thanks, Crod. Take a lap. It's Gibby, Chuba. Media. What's up, Media? Media left a voicemail. Okay, Media, I'm going to get to it. It looks really close, Mark F. It's a pretty close vote. Chuba or Gibby. Let's ask Miss Smitty. Hold on. We're going to put this on Miss Smitty's shoulders.
Are you awake? Chuba Hubbard or Gibson? Chuba Hubbard.
Thank you. Chuba Hubbard. She said it. We did it live. We did it live. She says Chuba. Go with Chuba. Miss Smitty's been pretty on the money with these questions, these little side questions, man. Part of me thinks we need to bring her in here, put her in the chair. Put her in the chair right here. See the seat right here in the psych den, the psych ward. Put her in there and just ask her some of these one-off questions, because we all know, no offense, don't tell her I said this, but a lot of people that don't know a ton about the fantasy part, she's really good at pick 'em. Like I let her decide the close ones in her work pick 'em, because when I say, oh come on, the Houston Texans can't win that game, you go, Miss Smitty goes, I don't know, Houston Texans, they did badly last week, uses just last week, or did well last week, uses just last week, and then boom, she'll crank one out, a win in the pick'em. I'm gonna trust her with those small calls, but it's crazy. Even something like this, with this season going on, I might trust her right now with that little instinct that she had right there. Go with the Miss Smitty angle. Okay. Leaning Gibby, I agree. Super chat by Thomas. Thank you, Thomas. I'm going to put you in the corner right here. Already got that one on screen. Okay, let's go with Mr. Punch right here. Miss Smitty said Chuba. You going to go against her? I feel like number one, except my father will trade. What is this, Mr. Punch? Oh, you trade with your dad. I feel like number one, except My father will trade. 12-team half PPR, Superflex, Kyler, DK, AB, Najee, Dame Harris, Hawkinson, Mike Davis, AB, Beasley, Winston, Smash Madison, Dylan also. Stash Madison, Dylan also have Hines and Pop from Pops. So you traded, what did you trade to Pops? Chuba Hubbard? I forget what you gave out. I think it was Chuba Hubbard to your Pops. Man, your Pops got you on that one, pal. The peer pressure of Pops. Suggestions, you're 2-1. Well, my first suggestion wouldn't be to give away Chuba Hubbard because that was a pretty good bargaining chip. But all things aside, you traded him to your dad. I get it. I'm going to say the best move for you, pal, is to trade. Like right now, you're not going to have time to do anything, so I'm going to give you some advice for next week. AB's going to have a big game. Mike Davis could do okay. If I'm you and I come out of this game, let's say Beasley even goes off, you could give AB, Beasley, Mike Davis, maybe a package. One of Ridley, Diggs, DK. DK's kind of banged up, I'm hearing. You could give one of these guys away. You could give one of these guys away, or three of these guys away to get one of those guys, I think, coming out of this week. Because I think one of them might still struggle. Because if Ridley has like a 45-yard game, 6 receptions for like 65 yards, or if DK is kind of banged up and he does mediocre, I bet you could come out of a big AB game, a decent Mike Davis outing, and even like a Beasley, toss it all together, trade it away. Also, go to the Cook owner and find out what wide receiver that they have that's an upgrade over AB, and maybe do that Mike Davis, AB, and Madison deal. That's kind of what I'm looking to do if I'm you. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Punch. Smitty asked you yesterday about my trade. Hill, Ayuk, Tyson for Mahomes, A-Rob, and Pollard. Today, traded A-Rob and Sanders on waivers. Lockett. On waivers for Lockett. How do you feel? So today, traded A-Rob and Sanders on waivers. Okay, so Sanders you got from waivers. It's really confusing reading this. A-Rob and Sanders from waivers, so who cares? You got him on waivers. A-Rob and Sanders for Lockett. I suppose I like it because Lockett's playing well, but it wouldn't shock me if A-Rob or Sanders, one of the other, was as good as Lockett moving forward. But Lockett's on fire. Put him in your lineup. If he stays healthy, he's going to ball. I think he's always been very talented. Russell Wilson loves him. He's good at that deep ball crap that gets you a whole bunch of extra points if your league has the bonus stuff. So I like it. I don't dislike it, but I think you gave up a lot. I think you paid quite a bit for Lockett. I think A-Rob could eventually rebound. He's kind of a good buy low. Sanders could be really good, or both of them could be non-existent, and you got Lockett essentially for free. It could go 100 different ways, Crod. But the bottom line is you got the best player in the deal currently. And I don't mind this at all. Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it, pal. I like it. It's a good move. In the end, it's a good move. And you have good trade value. If Lockett does good again, dude, you could trade Lockett for a top 5 guy. Terry says 114 people in here, only 42 likes. Please punch the thumb up. Nick says best fantasy show. I've seen them all. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate you, pal. I agree on the Tennessee D. Feels like a trap. Terry Roberts, need more likes. 118, 42 likes. Yeah, hit the thumbs up on the way in the door, guys. It helps the show a ton. Zach says, this is my favorite fantasy show for sure. Thank you, pal. Appreciate all you guys. You guys are awesome. Okay. Ryan, another super to keep the lights on. Thank you. Pick up James Washington over Mecole Hardman or Curtis Samuel. I probably would rather have Curtis Samuel, although I don't love all 3 options, to be honest, but I like Curtis Samuel better. So I'm going to go Curtis Samuel out of these three, pal. And I appreciate you super chat and keeping the lights on, pal. Joseph, thank you for the like. Zach, traded J-Rob for A.J. Brown. Was that a dumb move? If you did it after this week, I assume, or did you get the points this week for J-Rob at least? I think if you did it after this week, it's going to work out for you. I'm not a huge J-Rob believer to the tune of what he's dropping right now. If we look at the running backs, we did this with the wide receivers. Let's do it with the running backs. Who are the top 7 running backs right now in fantasy football? Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, James Robinson, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift, still Christian McCaffrey, and J-Rob played. Same thing with Chase, so it's hard to value that. And Austin Eckler. Trading high on James Robinson. I don't think you can trade high at Mixon, although he's so highly ranked. It's crazy, but he's banged up right now. Wait till he gets healthy, or at least try and sell him high, and then if you can't hold him. But Mixon worries me. DeAndre Swift is already banged up, but he's playing great. You can only sell DeAndre Swift high. You got to hold him if you can't sell him high at all. McCaffrey's still at number 6. That's how good this man is. He's still number 6, and he's out. He's been out. He's missed, majority of that game. So, what did McCaffrey have before he left? 31 yards, 2 receptions for 9. Yeah, he had 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 points in that game before he went down 5. 5 points. 5 points, and Christian McCaffrey still ranks in the top 6, which is crazy. And you take J-Rob out of that, he's top 5. So if you traded, let me see, did you say if you got those points, pal? After this week, good. You did this trade after this week. I like it for you because you get the points. Now you're sending them packing. Nice job, man. Thomas with a super chat. Thomas says, thoughts on this trade? I give up Mike Williams, Clyde, and Andrews. I get DK and JT. I take DK and JT, pal. You have Pitts, so you're fine. Believe in Pitts. Have faith in him. No, you shouldn't have drafted him in round 3 or 4. Some of you guys did. It was very uncomfortable. It made me uncomfortable when I saw people drafting Pitts at number, I don't know, or 4th round value. Like, it made me uncomfortable. I occasionally tried it like round 5, and it still felt really high, but I'm like, okay, I want to get in on a couple mock drafts, but I don't know that I drafted him in round 5 in a real league. I may have. He belongs in round 6 or 7. Right now, if you're trading for Kyle Pitts, you could trade for him at equivalent 6 to 7 round value, which is fantastic. So if you are interested in getting in to Kyle Pitts and you think the guy that owns him is going to be like, I'm giving up on him, you could get him in a very, very nicely packaged deal where you're giving up like you could probably give up Cooks for him. If you need a tight end really badly and you've got Brandon Cooks, I don't think Brandon Cooks is going to continue. I would trade Cooks for a player that helped my team win. You might get more than Pitts for Brandon Cooks, though, just so you know. But I do like this trade for you. I worry a little bit about JT. He's banged up in this one, but he's expected to fully play. But I like it. It's a ballsy move, and I like it, pal. I like it. I'm selling high on Mike Williams. I'm hoping DK's okay. He's kind of banged up right now, but hopefully he's okay. Crod with another super chat. Mr. Punch with another. Derek Just with a super chat. Ryan. One more super, because this channel is awesome. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan's the man. Doobie's working hard over there. Did I get to this one? Would you trade away Amari Cooper and Chris Carson for McCaffrey? I would. I would do it if you're 0-3, maybe not. I mean, if you're 0-3, maybe I still do it and try and trade him for more, in the final hour here before kickoff. But you might be able to trade him next week. It's a really, really tough move to make for teams that are 0-3, because even though you're getting amazing value Will you be 0-5? Will you be 0-6 by the time he comes back? Can you weather through potentially 3 weeks of missed action? Because if you can't, it's one of those what does it matter type of moves. Yeah, you did good. You got good value, but is gonna help you win. That's a really, really, really tough one. So according to your team, me looking at it, you have Aaron Jones, you have Henderson, you have I believe that's Lat Murray because it's in the running amongst the running backs. Madison, Kupp, Deontay, Johnson, Pittman. You probably can be okay. I imagine you're either 1-2 or 2-1. ET7. Let me know what your record is, real quick, and we'll break that down, pal. Okay, Crod with a super chat. I only got Sanders off waivers, but now my lineup is Mahomes, Godwin, Lockett. Those are two crafty wide receivers. Carson, JT, Thomas. Carson, JT, and Thomas on the bench. I swear, change those energy settings, man. Javonte, Pollard, Patterson, Judy Cousins. Okay, so you got Mahomes, Godwin, Lockett, Carson, JT. Yeah, I mean your team's good, man. Your team could hang. Your team can hang. I like it. Mr. Punch, thanks for the advice. The Cook owner has a weird team. I was thinking I could offer AB, Mike Davis, Madison for Keenan Allen and Ruggs. Yeah, I mean I think that's not bad. You're doing a nice little upgrade. I think AB and Keenan Allen can be close at times, but I think in general you want Keenan Allen, right? And you're doing a nice little bump there. That's good enough. I mean, I would do that. I would do it for McLaurin potentially. I definitely do it for Ridley or DK or Diggs, like especially those guys. But McLaurin and Keenan Allen are kind of on the tail end of that tier. They're kind of hanging on. They're close to those guys. So I definitely consider that for sure. Lewis says, Smitty, need 2 wide receivers, Cooks, Myers, Pittman, and Ayuk. Thinking Ayuk will break out big time this week. Help me on this. I'm going to go, you got to go with Cooks and either Cooks and Myers or Cooks and Ayuk. Pittman's a thought, but I feel like he's going to be a focal point of that defense in week 4. So, I'm kind of hot and cold on him. I go back and forth about matchups and how much they really affect my ranking. And bottom line is I feel the same way about Ayuk as you do. I feel like he's either going to do it or he's not going to do it. It feels like Gibson. Gibson and Ayuk. This is a make or break week. Not so much to where it's a point of no return for their fantasy value, but it's definitely in a place where if Gibson and Ayuk don't do it this week, the owners, the fantasy football world will step aside and say, you are no longer in our good graces, to the bench. And then guess what happens? You end up putting them on the bench or something. The next week they go off and then you're even more mad about it. So I'm going to say trust your gut. I don't want to detour you away from Ayuk, pal. Put Ayuk in. You want him in there, but you got to put Cooks in. Cooks is dropping fire. For as long as he stays healthy, you put him in. Full PPR and a flex. In flex, you have Fournette or Waddle. That's a tough one because Gio's out. Fournette could get crafty usage in this one. Waddle safer. Fournette's more the high risk, high reward. So if you want that high reward, go Fournette. If you want safe, because Brissett's tossing 10 targets to Waddle, 10 targets to Gesicki. They're like short catches, but like Brissett's throwing like, I don't know, what do you throw for like 45 times last week or whatever it was, and he had like 220 yards. Everything's really short. He runs a lot, vultures a lot, but Waddle feels pretty safe. That target volume will be there, but Fournette's going to get you 2 points, or he's going to get you 15 or 18 points. You kind of got to pick your poison, Derek. I wish I could tell you. Let's go to the chat. Chat, Fournette or Waddle. And Hopkins, Beasley, and wide receivers Josh Allen as QB and Goddard at tight end. I like your squad. What does the chat think? We got a big one here. Derek dropping a 1999 super, pal. I appreciate you. Derek kept the lights on for the rest of the night. Bottom line, Derek, you're the man. You're the man, man. Appreciate you, pal. Derek, you're taking a lap.
Take
A victory lap, pal. You mean a lot to me, Derek. Also hurting at wide receivers, A.J. Brown. Tough break for anybody. I traded for A.J. Brown literally right before that happened. I was so bummed. Walked into the week, fresh A.J. Brown on my team. Gets hurt right away, immediately. And in that league, I want to win badly for a lot of reasons. And A.J. Brown, hopefully he's not out long. I told you guys last night, about the Instagram post he put up where he said everything happens for a reason, paraphrasing a little bit, that there's no mistakes. And again, love the message, love the attitude, love the positive vibe, but it feels like a statement you say when you're out a while, you know? How many people are out 1 week and they're like, everything happens for a reason? Like, that's not something you say when you're going to miss like 1 week or maybe not miss the week, because he was kind of like questionable all week, and then, we rule him out last second. If he's going to be out 3 or 4 weeks, we're all going to be pretty upset that information doesn't come out, you know? AJ Brown hurt, Shepard hurt, DJ Chark hurt. Man, you got hammered at wide receiver, Derek. You got blasted, bro. I apologize. Josh Allen, Kamara. I apologize from the fantasy football world to you, pal. We all owe you an apology looking at this luck at wide receiver for you. AJ Brown, Shepard, Chark. You just got blasted. But you know what, Derek? You're gonna come back. Derek, you're gonna land the best waiver guys. Derek, this isn't gonna hold you back, pal. Josh Allen, Kamara, Sanders, Fournette, Hunt. I love Hunt. Love Josh Allen. Love Kamara. Sanders, I could trade him if the price is right. Beasley and Sanders for like a JT or Gibson if you could catch someone sleeping. Hopkins, he's banged up too. Waddle. So your question is 1 to 2. What should you do? Also have JT. Running backs are okay. So Beasley, Hopkins, and Waddle. I'm gonna rank these for you. First of all, Hopkins 1. I know he's banged up. That might be why you're listing him. Is that why you're listing him? I'm not sure what you're wanting me to rank here, but I'm gonna say that if I'm obviously you're starting Josh Allen. If I'm starting the wide receivers, I'm going Hopkins, no question about it. Probably Beasley, then Waddle in that order, if that helps you. And what should you do? You also have Tony Jones. Keep Tony Jones. You need to cuff him to Kamara. You start Hunt. You start Kamara. You start Sanders as your flex if you can. You start Hopkins and Beasley. You start Hunt. You start Sanders over Waddle if that's a decision you need to make. I don't know if I helped you, pal. I was trying to decipher your question, but ask again. You don't have to super chat it, but ask again. I'll look for your question, and I will try and help you if you can clarify anything if I didn't get it. Smitty, need 2 wide receivers. Cooks, Myers, Pittman, and Ayuk. Thinking Ayuk will break out. Already got that one. Yep. Trust your gut. Trust your gut, pal. Cole with the super chat. Rock out with the super chat. AJ with the super chat. And Derek, again, please follow up. Follow up, Derek. Pick 2 flex this week. Chuba, Waddle, Corey Davis, Tim Patrick. Give me Chuba. Lock Chuba in. This is a Smitty pick 1, not Smitty pick 2. Chuba Hubbard, lock him in, pal. Put some respect on Chuba's name right now. He's a baby McCaffrey. Waddle's safe. I think the volume's going to be there. Brissett loves to feed him just a massive amount of short targets. Here, take 10 5-yard targets right now. That's what Brissett does to those wide receivers and the tight end. Like Gesicki, 10 targets for 50 yards this week. Waddle, 11 targets, 8 catches, 45 yards, guaranteed. That's the way Brissett works. I like Brissett. I kind of like Brissett. He's fun to watch, man. He's not a guy you want to start for more than like a season, but he comes in for like more than a partial, like more than a half a season, and you root for him. You like him. He's like that Minshew season where everybody loved Minshew, but then when the job was his, it didn't work. That's kind of how I feel about Brissett. The second wide receiver to me is going to be Tim Patrick if you want a little more risk but upside. Waddle if you need safety, AJ. Trying to trade CMC for McLaurin and Najee Harris, but the guy loves Harris too much. That's a good idea, Rock Out. You could potentially go get, and like I've always told you, this is how you do a trade when you're doing that 2-for-1, is so you first go to all the teams, you find a guy's team that has a struggling player that's your target. So if Ridley is that target, then you have all the other players. So you write Ridley down here. That's your target. You're trying to get Ridley. And then here's CMC. So you're trying to trade CMC away. So you found Ridley as your target. What other player can make the scales balance for you? Actually weigh the scale out on your end. That makes it great. Sometimes it's a CEH and you're taking a gamble. Sometimes it's a JT and you're excited because you got two players you actually really like for this kind of swap. Sometimes it's there's no other player here and you're like, I can't do it. So then you go to another team. You say Ridley's not going to work. You find the guy that has Diggs, and the guy that has Diggs has Mahomes. Okay, so now it's CMC for Mahomes and Diggs, and let's say he just happened to have another quarterback, so that makes sense. Or you give him back your quarterback if it's a less significant player. It doesn't have to be a running back and a wide receiver. It can be this kind of crazy move here, if need be. Aaron Jones or Stafford, give me Aaron Rodgers or Stafford, give me Aaron Rodgers for me. DI Car 59. Thank you, Rock Out. Appreciate your super chat, pal. Should I trade Julio for Michael Thomas? I would. I would. I mean, why not? They're both hurt right now. We don't know what's going to happen to Julio. We're pretty sure MT will probably keep going on the way up. I heard things are going okay for MT. So I probably would take the chance on MT. I mean, we're walking into week 4. He'll be back sooner than later now. Super chat from the Hated Rogue. I appreciate you, pal. I have Lamar, Najee, JT, Diggs, Corey Davis, Logan Thomas, Patterson. I am 0-3, bro. That team's pretty good. JT's been holding you back. Diggs has been holding you back. Like, Diggs will bounce back this week. I firmly believe it, man. JT, I'm not certain of. JT's even banged up, but he's a good buy low. He's a good buy low, and he's also a guy I panic on. I mean, it goes both ways. It depends on your investment. If your cost of entry on JT was a top 12 pick, then you're in panic mode, and you should be. If JT, you traded for him at near third round equivalent value, you're not in panic mode. You're in, I'm waiting for this guy to pop back into good value. JT's a great buy low because he's a disappointment. And once he disappoints, he's got nowhere to go but up. And he seems like the kind of player that when the pressure's on, he's not going to do it. And then when all hope is lost and nothing's expected of him, he's going to come in and go off on a tear. And anybody that's owned him all year won't even make the playoffs, and they're going to hate his guts. But people that traded for JT and bought him at extremely low value, those people will be very, very excited. 168 of you in here, please punch a thumbs up. And, this question, okay. 0-3, bench Robbie Anderson, Ruggs, Josh Jacobs, KJ Osborne, Gainwell. What do I do? I try and trade like Patterson and Josh Jacobs, man, for just a slightly better running back, like a Clyde or a Gibson, or a wide receiver like McLaurin or Keenan Allen, or if you can get so lucky to get a Ridley. And you may have to wait, pal, until Jacobs does something significant, or Robbie Anderson goes crazy for a week, or Osborne goes nuts again, or Patterson has a good game, or Corey Davis, JT blowing up. Maybe you can trade JT and a Corey Davis or JT and a Jacobs. If for a guy that has one running back, you could give him two. Like, you got to wait. There's not much you can do in the final 11th hour here. heading into kickoff that I think anybody's going to bite on, given that you have guys that need to prove themselves before you can really trade them. I don't trade Diggs. I don't trade Najee. I don't trade Lamar. I probably don't trade JT unless the deal's right, and I don't think it will be. So you have no choice but to wait. And then once Jacobs gets value, go get. We'll have a whole bunch of buy low guys walking into week 5. Coming out of week 4, I do it on Sunday. If you guys want to be a part of that creation process, all you got to do is go to my main YouTube page, my homepage on YouTube, youtube.com/fantasyfootballshow. Click the blue join button and get on our video calls. We do 2 of them every Sunday where we break it all down on the marker board and figure out who the buy lows are, and we just start cranking that stuff out. Super chat. Let me see. Fanta, I didn't get a question from you. I will look for your question and see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. So I answered that one. Cole, I thank you for your question, pal. And Rockout, I think I got your question. So this one right here, Julio, Mike Thomas, I got that. Derek says, Smitty, I was asking. WRM, I got your question right here. Smitty, I was asking, should I make any trades or tough it out? Okay, Derek, let me pull your team back up, pal. And let's do this. Let's do this proper. So here's your question again. Make any trades. So you're hurting a wide receiver. Okay, yeah, this team, your wide receivers. Josh Allen, Kamara, Hunt, like it. Don't touch it. If you could sell Hunt high, I'd explore it. But I'm selling Sanders coming off a big week. Fournette comes off a big week. Let's say sell either one of those guys. I'm selling Beasley if he comes off a big week. You don't really have a whole lot of firepower. Hopkins you can't sell right now because he's banged up a little bit. And he's coming off a not so great, week. So people are going to be wary of trading for Hopkins at a high value. And you can't get rid of him low. Do I trade Kamara for 2 players? Do I take a Ridley and a JT right now before week 4 kicks off? Yes. I do trade Kamara for 2 players, but they have to be ballers, bro. They have to be Gibson and Diggs type players. Like, it has to be that good. Gibson and Ridley. Gibson and DK. DK and Clyde. God, the mid-range running backs are so non-existent right now. Like when you picture a draft, like where are the running backs in round 2? Like Gibson, Clyde potentially in round 3 or wherever, but like those running backs in the 1.13 or I'm sorry, the 2.01 to 3.04. What running backs are living in that ADP range if we're drafting right now? JT, Gibson. Aaron Jones is up in the first round. Clyde. I don't take Carson that high, but what running backs are there? It's so hard to think about what running backs you're going to trade for. But breaking Kamara up now is really your only play. The play that's going to get you enough value. I guess Josh Allen, if you want to trade before week 1, Josh Allen for a Hurts and DK, something like that might help you, Derek. Past that, you got to wait. Let Kamara and Josh Allen get more value, then attack it properly with more time. But trading Josh Allen or Kamara is not out of question for you if you can get the right players. And Derek, that's what I'll be here to help you do if the trade offers come rolling in, pal. We'll make sure we get to it. WRM, DK and Edmonds for CD and JT. Punch it, bro. Punch it. Schultz or Cook? Schultz. But, bro, you trade DK and Edmonds for CD and JT in a heartbeat. Heartbeat, bro. Like, go do that now and come back. Fanta, thank you for the super chat earlier. I see your question here. Sutton or AB? Anything can happen. These are 2 guys that one could have 150 yards and 8 catches any given week, but then drop a nothing the next week. But I'm going with AB unless we read some weird thing about his lung issues from COVID, from whatever. Then I worry a little bit about him. But I'm definitely gonna I'm definitely going to start AB in this situation, I think, right now. Javonte, Pollard, Patterson, flex. Give me Javonte. Even if Javonte doesn't technically start, let's say Melvin Gordon squeaks out a start in this one. Is he going to get a full workload? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But Patterson is like a safer play. But Javonte's got a whole bunch more upside and not a ton of risk. It's okay. You know, a decent amount of risk and a decent amount of upside mixed together. Patterson doesn't have the ceiling potential, the upside potential that I think Javonte would. So I probably roll with Javonte myself. That's me. That's me. Not everybody's going to agree. That's how I'm going to roll. Hated, thank you for the super chat again, pal. Fanta, appreciate you. Rock out, thank you. Cole, AJ, Derek, thank you, Derek. Thank you, Lewis. Pick 2. Pick 2, Saquon, Hunt, Clyde. Chat, can you give some help to this one? Saquon, Hunt, and Clyde. We got to pick 2. This one's really close. This one's really close. Thank you, Noah, for the super chat. Appreciate you. What are we doing with this one, guys? Saquon, Hunt, Clyde. Who are we putting on the bench? I suppose putting... Media says Hunt and Clyde. Put Saquon on the bench. Cole says Saquon and Clyde. Put Hunt on the bench. There's 2 answers so far. Saquon and Hunt. Put Clyde on the bench. I think Colin. I think Gordon. I think if Gordon sits, we're looking at a top 10 to 12 running back game out of Javonte. Hopefully. Hunt and Clyde, Saquon and Clyde, everybody's all over the map. Saquon and Hunt. I'm probably putting Hunt on the bench, and I hate to say that because I love Hunt this week. I love all 3 of them. I'm probably putting Hunt on the bench. I put Saquon on the bench if you've got any concerns already about him, but I'm probably putting Hunt on the bench. Clyde's coming off a big game, 100 yards and a touchdown. Looked really, really good running the football. He only fumbled the ball, which was the only damper on the night. If Clyde didn't fumble that ball, people will be talking about how amazing he was in that game. He ran well, good yards per carry. He did not look bad at all. He was elusive. He got the touchdown. I think that broke through that mental barrier that he has up. I'm going to roll with Clyde. Hunt, I like. Hunt's going to be like this, though. So on the off chance he gets that 45-yard game because he's sharing carries, he's like technically not the starter. He's a co-starter, but he's still not the 1A. He's the 1B. And because of that, I feel like if you're put in this box, I'm going Quads and Clyde, and I'm putting Hunt on the bench. But that's me. Hopefully that helps you out. Noah, 176 in the room. Please punch the thumbs up. Terry, what are our thumb up counts looking like? Smitty, should I trade Miles Sanders for Javonte Williams and Jalen Waddle? Yes, I do that. You have JT and Gibson as your other running backs. Don't trust Sanders long term. Either do I. I think Gainwell eventually gets some starts, man. I don't know that he replaces him, but Sanders is that guy that gets hurt, man. That crazy frame. He's not built to be a workhorse running back, and they don't necessarily want to use him that way either, though. So it could keep him healthy, getting half the work. So it could be that situation where he does stay healthy, but because he's splitting work with Gainwell, he doesn't ever get hurt, but he doesn't ever blow up. And if he gets enough carries, he's going to get hurt. So I really don't trust Sanders that much. But if Gainwell gets in there, broskies. Gainwell's going to blow up. But yeah, I take Javonte. Javonte I like a lot. Drop Dylan for Bell? No. We're 3 weeks in. There was a reason you took A.J. Dillon, Doug. There's a reason you took him. You took him to be a sleeping giant on your bench for the time his number gets called. He is not an every week starter. He is not yet a flex play. He had potential to be, he still does. If they gave him goal line work, he could get like, even not getting going until week 5 or 6 as a vulture guy, he could get 8 to 10 touchdowns in a short period of time, vulturing touchdowns if they decide to keep Aaron Jones fresh for the playoffs. So he could have vulture potential down the road. But even if he doesn't, the reason you drafted him was not to start him. The reason you drafted A.J. Dillon was to plug him into your lineup the moment the number's called and Aaron Jones misses 3 or 4 games with a hamstring or a groin injury or a torn quad, like whatever. Like, this guy is often injured, and if Aaron Jones misses 3 or 4 games, Dillon's a top 5 to 10. He does what Madison did, a top 5 to 10 running back play. You drafted him for a reason. Lev Bell holds no more value than Dillon's current state. And could that change? I guess, but he's going to share carries in a system that also shares carries with the running back. So a running back by committee inside a greater running back by committee. I'm not about that. I'm staying clear from that Baltimore rushing attack. And Dillon, I'm waiting for Dillon to get dropped. Doug, no offense, Doug, but there are a lot of owners thinking the same thing right now, and I'm just waiting for A.J. Dillon to get dropped because people aren't patient enough to understand why they drafted him. You drafted A.J. Dillon to do a certain thing, to be a certain, to fill a certain role. And same thing with Javonte Williams. Everybody wanting to give up on Javonte Williams coming out of week 2, week 3, before this Melvin Gordon injury news. And even if Melvin Gordon plays in week 4, people are ready to cut ties so quickly. And I don't understand why, when it was clear he may or may not have early work, it's going to eventually happen. Drop Dillon for anyone, Captain Spock. The reason you drafted Dillon is because you finished last every year. Whoa, Captain Spock. Whoa, pal. Whoa. I think Spock's little brother grabbed his phone. That isn't Captain Spock. When Captain Spock gets back off the can, we're going to let him know his phone got confiscated while he was in the, what? Gordon expected to play. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. If Gordon plays, people are going to get real antsy about Javonte Williams. They're going to be like, this is it. I can't take the roller coaster ride. Maybe I should trade him. Look, Captain Spock's little brother is back on his phone. Get off, little Spock. Put it down, pal. Put the phone down, pal. Your big bro is going to come get you. He's not going to be happy. You're messing with his reputation, little Spock. Little Spocky. Jamar Gibson Chuba for CMC. Jamar Gibson Chuba for CMC. And AJ Brown. Yes. I understand they're both hurt. Unless you're 0-3. If you're 0-3, it's still a good move, but can you win with it? You got to answer that question for yourself. But if you're even if you're 1-2, God, that's tough, man. That's tough. Even if you're 1-2, I might do it. I mean, you have such a team coming out of those injuries. If you can weather it, if you feel like you can weather it and come out at least 50% 500 record or something, bro, you're gonna ball once you got. I'd probably do that, Brandon, but it really does depend. Johnny with the super chat, appreciate you, Johnny. Noah, I got yours. Thank you, Noah. WRM. Okay, I think I'm caught up. We got another one here from Jason. This one, should I pick up Ramondre Stevenson? Looks like I did an Instagram post, Johnny. I don't know if you saw it on IG, but I said pick up Stevenson. I have a gut feeling that Stevenson is going to start multiple games in 2021, and he tore up the preseason. He looked fantastic. Everybody go grab Ramondre Stevenson. Put him on your bench. Wait for him. Be patient for him. Don't freak out and cut him. Just hold him. Hold him and wait. Hold him and wait, and you won't be sorry. Fant or Brait? I'm gonna go Fant. I wouldn't blame you if you went Brait, but I'm gonna go Fant. Moss Carson. Moss Carson song. Moss Carson. Moss Carson. Moss Carson Gibson. Moss Carson Gibson. Choose 2. Odell or Lamb? Is that Lamb? Lam? Are you asking me? Look, this is a super chat, Jason, so I can't yell at you. I'm obligated to not make you take a lap on this one. But did you just ask me Odell Beckham Jr. or CeeDee Lamb? CeeDee Lamb, pal, by a mile. You put Lamb in, he's a wide receiver 1. Odell Beckham Jr. is fighting for wide receiver 3 respect. Like, these guys couldn't be further apart. People, why are so many people, Jason, this is not to you, Jason, but why are so many people asking me what to do with CeeDee Lamb? Do I start CeeDee Lamb? He's a wide receiver 1. He's a wide receiver 1, Jason. And Jason, don't take this harshly. You drafted him. Your brain is this big, bro. It's this big. You drafted CeeDee Lamb, Jason. You can do anything, pal. You're Jason. You're Jason Moa. Am I saying that right? Moa? You're Jason Moa, pal. You can do anything. You proved it the day you stepped onto the turf and drafted CeeDee Lamb. But don't get confused with Odell Beckham Jr. of the past coming in and competing with Lamb. No, not at all. But Fant, I take Fant over Brait. Moss, Carson, Gibson, choose 2. Give me Carson and Gibson. You can't sit Carson or Gibson right now, but trade Carson high off a big week, pal. That's my advice. Attaboy on the CeeDee Lamb drafting. Let's make this into a positive, Jason. You can do anything, pal. Moss or Gibson? Gibson, bro. Start Hendy or Mitchell. Look, this is going to be decided by the news. If Mitchell's a go, you put Mitchell in. You know, Hendy, Michelle, McVay. I want no part of that. But if Mitchell's not a go, you got to play Hendy, right? Unless both of them end up being out last second. But Mitchell, hopefully Mitchell's a go. Hopefully Mitchell's a go. Todd with a super chat. Jason, I appreciate your super chat again, pal. You're the man. Thank you, Johnny. Todd says, took your advice from last night, Smitty. Traded both CMC and Kamara. Bro, I don't even remember what I told you, but let's look at this. This is exciting. I traded both CMC and Kamara. Now, before I read the rest, I hate when people say, hey, Smitty, I took your advice, and then the trade's nothing like what I would have accepted. You know, they're like, Smitty, I took your advice. I traded for DK Metcalf. I gave up Jefferson and Clyde. And then I'm like, that wasn't my advice, pal. Okay, let's see if Todd followed my advice. Traded both CMC and Kamara. Remember, I had no wide receivers. Made 2 deals and got me Clyde, Saquon, Ridley, Mike Evans. It's not bad, but it's not like... So you traded CMC for Clyde and Ridley, I bet. And then you traded Kamara for Saquon and Evans. Each deal in themselves isn't horrible or bad, or not that you didn't technically maybe win, you know, or break even. I don't know that I love the sum total of it. Todd, I'm going to say I don't love it, Todd. I don't love it, but then again, you know, what's your record? Could you have survived? Maybe you did one of them, like maybe you trade McCaffrey for Clyde and Ridley. Like that I could have maybe been okay with, or Ridley and Saquon, like whichever running back or wide receiver you got. I don't know that I love the Kamara for Saquon and Evans, but I don't think you lost it. I see a couple L's in the chat. I don't think you lost it. I just think maybe you could have got more. And I think, Todd, we need to see the whole team. So Todd, post the whole team. Let's see the whole team, Todd. Kaysen, Flex 1, Javonte, Mike Davis, Corey Davis, Elijah Mitchell. This comes down to the news. Like I've said a bunch, I'm live on Instagram at the Fantasy Football Show, which is where you guys are leaving your voice messages right now, right? Because I'm going to go to the voicemails in a second. So go to Instagram, the Fantasy Football Show, DM me, and drop a voice message. Hold down that microphone, and I'm going to them right now. Right now. Johnny with the super chat. Johnny, thank you, pal, for that super chat. Media, let me look at your message in 1 second here. And I'm looking for your, Todd, I'm looking for your reply. I want to look at your whole team now. Javonte, Corey Davis. So we're waiting for the news, Kaysen. If Eli Mitchell is a start and the news looks really good on it, he's your lead dog if Javonte is not starting. But even then, maybe Eli Mitchell's sharing in the same way Javonte's going to share. If Melvin Gordon goes, will Melvin Gordon get a full workload? Maybe not. So you're not crazy to go Javonte, but I probably lean Eli Mitchell if Javonte's not starting, and the news indicates that Eli Mitchell is going to play. And as media is saying right here, we don't know. That's the problem. We're waiting on the news. Eli Mitchell is questionable. That's what I've been saying all night. Media, we don't know. No one knows until you know he's a go. You can't put him in. So if we don't hear. This background music is epic. Attaboy. You guys love this one. You don't love the I guess it's the newer one. This was the one we were rolling with for a little bit. I don't mind this one, but you guys love this one. Jamal Williams or Miles Sanders. Give me Miles Sanders. I think Javonte has more work. Yeah. So here's kind of where I'm leaning. I'm kind of agreeing with Jeezy here. No matter what, for Kaysen here, I'm probably just putting Javonte in. Okay, I'm going to assume Melvin Gordon's not probably taking a full workload if he barely was given the nod to play. And Eli Mitchell, who knows what he's going to get. Even if he plays, maybe he gets 4 carries. I don't trust it. I'm going to put Javonte in. If you get some kind of weird news that says Eli Mitchell's the only starting running back left, and just weird, crazy news hits in the morning, you're like, okay, easy call, put Eli in. But I don't think I'd trust it, pal. I'm going with Javonte. Media, what do you do in the quad box? I'm still hurting. What do I do in the quad box? I am still hurting on running back. Oh, the quad box league. Now with wide receiver AJ Brown hurt, my wide receivers are hurt too. Media, leave me a message. I'm going to go to the voicemails. I think you said you already left it. I'm going to get there eventually. Don't worry. I'm just handling these super chats first. Johnny, Javonte. Oh, Johnny, I'm sorry. I didn't even see Lockett, pal. I didn't see Lockett here. Johnny, you still here? I was answering the question for Javonte and Mitchell only. I didn't see Lockett. Lockett's your easy call. Lockett's your easy call here. Like, if Javonte starts, maybe you have a dilemma and you need to come to me on this one and we can talk about it in the morning. I'm live on Instagram. Bring it up to the crew. We'll answer your question and try and break this down. But Lockett, put Lockett in and just lock it in. If you know what I'm saying, pal. That's an easy one. I didn't see Lockett at the bottom there. Noah, I made a risky trade this week. I traded Aaron Jones, Keenan Allen, Dawson Knox, and Cephas. I got Tyreek, JT, Mark Andrews, and Emmanuel Sanders. How'd I do? Aaron Jones for JT, so slight downgrade there. Keenan Allen to Tyreek, a little more than a slight upgrade there. So you're kind of ahead of the game right here. Knox and Andrews, big upgrade. Cephas, Sanders. I like the bottom team. I like the Tyreek, JT team. It's tough giving up Aaron Jones. I do believe that. But it's a slight upgrade. You could argue it really either way, to be quite frank. So Andy Dalton is doubtful for week 4. Justin Fields is the starting quarterback for the Bears. Rob Gronkowski could be sidelined for multiple weeks, just so people know, with the fractured ribs. What's up, Alex Cruz? My wife tried to drop A.J. Brown. Luckily, he was locked. This is LaBello. Max over Knox. I don't know. Max over Knox, you could go either way on that one. You go either way on that one. Definitely understand Smitty. I have Najee, Montgomery, Mixon, Gainwell. I think AJ or Bell will be fine, but I won't, Smitty. I think AJ for Bell would be fine. What does this even mean, Doug? I think AJ for Bell would be fine. What are you're not talking about AJ Brown for Bell. Doug, clarify, Doug. Clarify right now, pal. What's up, Smitty? How worried should I be about Tyson Williams with Bell news? Would you drop him for Bell? I guess, but no one knows yet. And Tyson Williams shouldn't even be really on your rate. You know, he's not gonna carry anybody. Like I'm not. He was a sell high for me 2 weeks ago because this is a committee inside a committee. It's a running back by committee inside a quarterback and running back by committee. It's a mess. It's a mess. Even Lev Bell's not going to probably have great value ever, but I mean, potentially go get Bell, I guess, for Tyson, but it's arguable. You know, Tyson could regain some value. Lev Bell could get hurt. Lev Bell could not impress. I mean, a lot of things could happen. Doug, this isn't an excuse though, pal. You said you're stacked at running back to drop Bell for AJ. Since I'm stacked at running backs to drop Bell for AJ, no. Drop Bell for AJ, no. Doesn't matter. You trade or hold. No, don't give anybody AJ Brown that cheap. If I got your question wrong, I'm sorry. If I'm reading it wrong, I'm probably reading it wrong. Smitty, I have Devontae Adams, Adam Thielen, and DJ Moore as my receivers, but Ezekiel Elliott as my running back 1. Should I trade Adams for a running back and wide receiver 2? LaBello, it depends on what you can get, man. It depends on what you can get. If you can trade Adams for a Ridley and a JT, or a Ridley and a Gibson, or a Ridley and a Clyde, or a Ridley and a DK and that kind of player, then of course I'd do it. I sell anybody high if I can get that kind of value. Justin Jefferson was cheap as crazy. He was cheap as can be last week, and now he's not. That's going to happen with Ridley. It's going to happen with Diggs especially, and it's probably going to happen with DK. Maybe all this week. Maybe one of them comes out of week 4 doing bad again, and you have a chance to buy low. I think he means AJ Dillon. Okay, I told you. I knew I was reading it wrong. AJ. When I see AJ, there's so many things that go through my head. AJ Brown, AJ Dillon. I know somebody asked about AJ Dillon earlier. It's probably him, but I don't remember. AJ Dillon. That makes a lot more sense. AJ Dillon and Bell. That makes a whole lot more sense. I thought he meant AJ Brown. I was like, Paul Scott, whatever his name is Scott. Was it Scott? No, it was Paul. It was Paul? Where's he at? Doug. Scott, Paul, Doug. Same thing. He meant AJ Dillon. Doug, Scott, Paul. Thank you, Doug. I'm more okay with that. No, apologies all on this side of the table, Dougie. You don't worry about it. You don't worry about apologizing. Silver's got you. Silver remembers who comes to the door. He's my bouncer. I don't remember the faces too well. I see too many clients coming through, like a revolving door. Scott, Doug. Can I just call you Scott? It'd be a lot easier for me. Jamie, thoughts on big trade, please. Standard, I got offered Barkley, Lamb, Sutton for my Thielen, Henderson, Sermon, Galladay. No, if I had a take a mile button right now, just so you would understand, I want you to go like this, so you remember it, okay? No. Barkley, I got offered, like, no, take it. See, I read it wrong. Take it. Barkley, and Lamb for Sutton, for your Thielen, Henderson, Sermon, and Galladay, punch it. Punch it. I read that wrong. Punch it, Jamie. Punch it now. Hopefully Jamie wasn't watching like this, and as soon as I gave the answer, went, take it. Take it, Jamie. To clarify, because sometimes you guys word things backwards and you meant the other way. It happens all the time. Take Barkley, Lamb, and Sutton and run. And remember it. Remember it. They do that when you become a knight. They knight you. I don't know if it's just in the movies. And then they slap you so you remember your oath. You need to remember this moment. The moment you got Barkley, Lamb, and Sutton for all that. Take it. Take it, run. Oh, Todd, what's your team? Where's Todd? Todd says my team is listed above. I'm looking for it, Todd. Hold on, Toddy boy. I'm coming, Todd. Okay, so you have Lamar, Clyde, Saquon, Pollard, Evans, Hollywood. Okay. Todd, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. You know you're my boy Blue. I don't know that I would have made those particular trades. I like your team. Barkley's not a guy. Okay, here's the problem. It's Barkley. You know I'm not big on Barkley. So had you gotten like a Gibson or a JT or something, I probably would have looked at it a little different. I would have probably looked at it a lot different. I'm just not huge on Barkley. So if you are huge on Barkley, then bro, go with your gut. I don't want you to get mad at me. I'm here to give you honest advice. That's why you want me to give you my take, right? I probably wouldn't have done that. I don't like Barkley. But if Barkley does good, sell him high, and you could be in a position where the trade looks really good to me, sum total after you've made another trade. You know what I'm talking about? Ruben. Rock out. Okay, so Rockout says, go to the voicemails. Ruben says, hey, Smitty, love the content. Should I sell high on Jamar Chase or hold him? I sell high. And you know what? Coming out of the week, you got his points already. You might get someone to accept a trade where you can buy low on somebody. There's risk they could get hurt. But you buy low on somebody that is going to blow up this week, like a Ridley or a DK or whatever. Buy him now. Gibson, whoever. Buy him now. And then when they blow up, the trade's already accepted. So, yes, I would definitely do that, pal. All right, let's go to the voicemails. If you want to drop your voicemail, Instagram. Let's go to media. It's been waiting patiently. Love the stream. Conklin or Disley? Give me Conklin.
Hi, Smitty. I'm hurting pretty badly. Still in the quad box league, and then I have AJ Brown, who's obviously got hurt, and so now I'm hurting at wide receiver too, and so I'm not sure what to do, man, and love your help. Thank you.
Media, let me pull up your team real quick because I know it's difficult to drop your entire team in the question. So let me pull up the quad box league. This is for the Instagram league where we have the quad box. Media's team. You have Herbert, Chubb, Sermon, AJ Brown. Get him out of your lineup, bro. You got him in your lineup still. McLaurin, Beasley, Goddard, Ayuk. You don't have much to trade. You got Stevenson. You probably just picked him up right now, didn't you? After I said that. Thanks a lot, pal. James White's on IR. You got not a lot of trade bait, pal. Your best trade bait, you got Herbert, Chubb, and McLaurin. I don't think McLaurin will get you what you need, so don't trade him because you'll be trading him like medium value, not even high. People are fickle. They don't trade for guys that aren't, exploding. Trade Nick Chubb into a JT, struggling JT. Trade me AJ Brown for David Montgomery. You want me to send it to you? I'll send it to you right now. Hang tight. Here it goes. You don't have to accept it. I don't know if the chat even likes that, but if you are hurting at wide receiver or at running back, let me see. Because you're hurting at running back more than wide receiver, aren't you? You've got Sermon as your running back too. At least you have McLaurin, Beasley, and Ayuk at wide receiver. I can give you David Montgomery for A.J. Brown. What's the chat think of that? I mean, Montgomery's playing, A.J. Brown's hurt. It's decent enough if you need a running back. So I'm going to send that to you right now. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to accept it, but I'm going to send it to you right now. David Montgomery. Do I even have David Montgomery? I don't have David Montgomery in that league. Media. Sorry, I'm going to have to take that trade offer back. I know we shook hands on it virtually, but I didn't have. This is like that gambler that doesn't have the money to pay his tab. I was thinking of the NBA players league that I'm in. I don't have David Montgomery. Let me see what else I can come up with, media. I've got Chuba Hubbard. I've got 22 leagues. What do you expect out of me? Perfection? What do you want from me? Okay? I've got Chuba Hubbard. I've got Madison. I've got Javonte Williams. I've got Gaskin. I can send you Gaskin. And I can send you Gaskin and Trey Lance for A.J. Brown. I can send you Jacoby Myers maybe and Gaskin. I can maybe send you Madison. I probably can't send you Chuba. But that's what I've got for you, pal. So you want it, send me a trade offer. I got to get back to voicemails. You know where my team is. You know where to find it. Send me an offer, pal. Oh, man. I thought I had Montgomery in that league. That's too bad. Yeah, I'm live now. Ask a voice message in here and I'll play it. Okay. Zach.
Smitty, I have Claypool and A.J. Brown, who are both out this week. Should I start at my flex Michael Carter, Terrace Marshall Jr., Jamison Crowder, Zach Pascal, any of these guys on waivers, like anybody around that tier that you would start over a Michael Carter or something like that? Or should I just stick with the dart throw and Michael Carter?
Bro. I don't know.
Smitty, I have Claypool and A.J. Brown, who are both out this week.
That's bad.
Should I start at my flex Michael Carter, Terrace Marshall Jr.?
I mean, maybe Marshall, but I'd probably lean Carter. I mean, what did Carter do? What did Marshall do? Last time he... Terrence Marshall in week 3 had 4 for 48. He hasn't been doing much. He looked decent in the yeah. Carter. Michael Carter. I think Michael Carter's in good position to get touches, but is he going to be effective? I don't know. He had 11 carries in week 2, 9 carries in week 3, averaging a whopping 2.7 yards a pop last week. Playing the Titans. I guess I go Carter, pal. In PPR, I go Marshall. Non-PPR, I go Carter. Enough said. I'm gonna let the PPR aspect of that determine. There you go, pal. Joe Driscoll.
Smitty, tell everyone to stop hating on CEH, bro.
Stop hating on CEH per Joe. I don't know that everybody's hating on him. They're just tired of him getting hurt. Zach, one more, Zach. Come on.
Is Kenneth Gainwell better? I mean, I have him on my bench too.
Yeah. What did he do last week, though? Kenny Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell. 3 receptions for 32 yards. I mean, he's still heavily involved. 3 targets, 4 targets. I'd probably go Gainwell. Gainwell, pal. Go Gainwell, Zach. Zach, you can leave another message. I was kidding. I may not get to it, but you can leave it.
Hey, Smitty, what's up?
What's up, Eric?
I just wondered if I should start Renfro, Drake, or J.D. McKissick.
Give me.
My flex.
Give me.
PPR. I also have AB
Oh.
I'm going against Brady. What do you think, brother?
I don't care if you're going. You could hedge your bet going against Brady. You can't sit AB. I was gonna say McKissick, Renfro, very close. PPR, maybe go Renfro, or McKissick, PPR too. He's 80 catches last year. But AB, you don't sit Mr. Jex. Did you hear him say that he had AB though? I don't think you sit AB based on your opponent. You know what I mean? Like you can't go into a game and go, I'm not going to use, you can't go into a track race and say, I'm not going to use my fast cleats because the other guy's got, similar cleats. Like you can't, just because you're going to get similar production because what Brady does, AB does, it could offset it too. You know what I mean? If you're going against Brady, you got AB. It's going to help you if let's say AB catches 3 touchdowns. What are you going to do if AB catches 2 or 3 touchdowns from Tom Brady? You're going against Tom Brady and you're watching AB drop loads all over the place. You got to, I think, go with AB. Yeah. And good point, Cliff. I mean, Gronk's out. I don't understand the disrespect going on with AB right now. AB was a wide receiver 1 to everyone coming out of week 1. Everyone loved him. At least a low-end wide receiver 1. He had one bad week right after in week 2. Didn't play in week 3 because he got, what. And then, we don't say it because we don't want to deal with all the stuff that gets put on screen when you mention it. I swear you mentioned it at all, what we're talking about, what AB went through, and it's like all your posts get like just hammered, everything gets, you know what I'm saying. AB is the guy. Kareem Hunt or Allen Robinson, give me Kareem Hunt. No on Josh Gordon. Stop it, says King. The only thing I'd say is make sure you watch AB news, like the news in the morning. If AB's like hindered by, the situation that he encountered, and his lungs are, having some kind of issue we didn't hear about. Like in the morning, you probably would hear something like that. Like AB's gonna be limited, get limited work. Snap count, get eased back into it. He can't breathe real well right now. Then you have a different dilemma.
Hey, Smitty, need a flex. Kurt versus the Rams, Callaway versus the Giants, or Corey Davis versus Tennessee. Full PPR. Thanks.
Kirk. What was the other one? I was reading the comment. I wasn't paying attention.
Hey,
Rock
Smitty,
out.
Need a flex.
Rock out.
Kurt versus the Rams.
Kirk.
Callaway versus the Giants, or Corey Davis.
Oh. Kirk versus the Rams. Callaway versus the Giants. I'm going to go Kirk. He's kind of on fire, pal.
Hey, Smitty,
I see Gage right here. Engage. It says Callaway. And just seeing him write that makes me want to go Callaway. Like, just seeing the name Like, I love Callaway still. He caught that. He looked like a beast pulling in that touchdown. I just wonder if once Winston gets going and he's not facing Alexander like he was in week 1. Like, I think the way Winston was playing in week 1, if he didn't have Alexander covering him, blanketing him, then he would have went crazy. And then week 2, Winston didn't do anything. The situation, half the coaching staff dealt with the situation. And then a couple players were out because of the situation. And it's like Winston doesn't even do great in week 3, but he's at least throwing the ball. And then Callaway scores a touchdown and was a beast on that touchdown. So
trade Godwin for a running back in a standard league.
Preem pickup? No, I'm not picking him up. What's this question?
Hey, Smitty, who could I trade Godwin for a running back in a standard league?
Godwin, you can probably trade Godwin for a Gibson, a JT, or a Clyde. Like those are the guys you're picking right now. Well, you're targeting.
And Smitty, I got an offer for Godwin, and I would get Deontay Johnson and Melvin Gordon, but not really feeling it. And by the way, Godwin's my third receiver. Thanks.
Deontay Johnson for Godwin?
And Smitty, I got an offer for Godwin, and I would get Deontay Johnson.
No. I like Deontay, but I want to keep Godwin if I'm you. You know what I'm saying? Ayuk or Myers, I mean, bro, that's a coin toss this week. Ayuk, we're hoping breaks out. We don't know what's going to go on with Ayuk. One more bad week from him, and everybody's going to do the same thing that they talked about. Clyde's no longer on my radar. I'm dropping him. Like, that's the way people talk when guys do badly. And Ayuk's like probably on his make or break week with people in terms of their patience with him. So I traded Eckler. Oh, I got J-Rob. I traded Eckler, AB, and Mike Thomas for CMC and McLaurin. I don't think he knows we're live right now, so I'm just going to answer this one. You traded Eckler, AB, and Mike Thomas. Eckler, AB for CMC, Terry McLaurin. If you could weather through the losses, or the loss of having no running back and having just McLaurin versus that talent that you AB and Eckler, you might be okay. You have to be able to weather through it to be ready for the remainder of the year, but it could work out very well. All right. Voice messages. This is Sierra.
Yo, Smitty.
Yo.
Cordell Patterson or Zach Moss, and Kyle Pitts or Tyler Higbee. Thanks.
What do you guys think of those? Kyle Pitts or Higbee? Pitts. I like Pitts as a buy low right now. I'm not sure when he's going to flip into good production. He had 5 catches for 73 yards in week 2, though. I think this could be the week that Pitts does a little something. He's playing Washington, but Higbee. I like Higbee, though. Higbee's probably safer right now. Wait on Pitts. Higbee's coming off a 40-yard 1 TD outing. The Cardinals. I'll probably start him, pal. I'd probably start Higbee. And then what was your other question?
Yo, Smitty. Cordell Patterson or Zach Moss?
Patterson or Moss? Oh, man. Cordell Patterson. 7 rushes 3 straight weeks in a row. Not horrible. 7 targets back-to-back weeks here in week 2 and 3. 5 receptions, 6 receptions, 58 yards and 82 yards. He got 2 TDs in 1 game in week 2, but 2 TDs on the year in 3 games. I mean, those receptions are pretty money. 5 and 6 receptions in back-to-back weeks. I like Moss. He's a touchdown threat, but you kind of got to go Cordero Patterson right here. He's just getting too much PPR volume. Yeah, it is a weird season for him engaged. It really is. I mean, I sell him high. I certainly sell him high, but I'm also kind of toying around with playing him. This is too good of production. How about Chuba? I like Chuba. I'd start Chuba over Patterson if that's what you're hinting at. Okay, more voicemails. Let's go. Alejandro.
Hey, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. Like Zeke, Henry, Chuba, Patterson, and Miles Sanders, as well as Diggs, Ridley, Thielen, Hollywood, and Ayuk, and got offered DK and Chubb for Henry. What do you think?
DK and Chubb for Henry. Give me DK and Chubb. Give me DK and Chubb, pal. You know what I would do, though? Hit accept right after the game start, though, if you can. Get that Henry rushing action in week 4. This is gonna be a run fest for the Titans. Although these are the games where you feel like, oh, it's going to go a certain way. It has to, and then it doesn't. But Henry at New York against those football Jets, man, probably going to get a ton of yards. But, again, you never know. You never know. But, yeah, get Chubb a DK. That's a lot of talent. And then, look to flip Chubb. I don't love that Chubb's sharing so many carries with Hunt. It's a lot of work that he's dividing up. And he's doing well with it. He's efficient, but it's just, it's definitely a concern. This one's from Accessor or CDMX, we'll call you.
Hey, much love from Mexico. Sorry for my bad pronunciation.
No, you're good, bro.
I was wondering who should I start the flex position. It's a full PPR league. Should I start Marquise Brown, Robert Woods, or Josh Jacobs and risk his injury?
Yeah, don't roll with Jacobs yet. Wait. I'm gonna go what do you guys think? Hollywood Brown, or are we going with Roberto Trees, aka Robert Woods, Robert Trees, Roberto Trees? Who are we going with? Don't just say Roberto Trees because you want to type his name and you love it and you love his nickname. Who are you starting? Roberto Trees or Hollywood? Hollywood had several drops, and he was a pretty big disappointment last week, but he's been playing great. He's going to try and totally redeem himself like Dumb and Dumber. And, a lot to like about Hollywood. We got one tree vote. 3 tree votes. Couple Browns. More Browns coming in. I'd say it's 60-40 Hollywood Brown all of a sudden.